After going to swap meets for a couple years now, I've been able to hoard way too much stuff that I definitely don't need. So today we're going to be talking about part 1 of the freakiest things I've found in the wild. This is a little more untraditional from the content I typically make, so if you guys like part 1, I can definitely make part 2. We're going to be talking about the lower tier items in this video, and the other parts will reveal higher tier items, I should say, but we will only see those if this first video does well enough where there is a request for another. In 26th place, we have the playing card collection. Now, this is not a high tier or impressive card collection in any shape or form. There actually is a world of rare and expensive playing card games, although it is extraordinarily niche compared to the vast majority of collectible categories, to say the least. So not really one you need to sweat too hard in. The good news about card collecting is that you really don't have to cash out big to get really cool, unique, and interesting playing cards, and there's a very good chance you can find a really cool set at the swap meet, like all the ones you will see here. Starting with the Star Wars Episode 1 card deck. These cards are a little different in terms of the materials they are made out of, and feature Star Wars scenes and characters. Really cool, fancy looking set. I don't know how good it is to play with though. I'm kind of a loser, so I don't really get to play many games at my house. The next one on the list is the Joe Camel set. This is just a more classic playing card set. However, I just love the aesthetics you can get away when messing around with the cards here. That's kind of one of the fun parts of playing cards, especially if their backs are really good. The next one is this kind of like weird magician musician set. I'm kind of too young to know who any of these people are, so if you recognize any of the celebrities and whatnot, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is kind of like not a Playboy card set, but a, like, you know, I don't really know how to explain it. I'm kind of dumb, low-key. Like, you kind of see what I'm talking about, though. I'm sure Google can answer your question. I'm just that fucking lazy, where yes, I'm going to edit this in the video. But my favorite set of all of them is easily the Saddam Hussein card set. This one actually has a little bit of history to it and isn't that rare. This was actually used by soldiers during the Saddam Hussein raids, where each card has a name of a target that was assigned to be killed, and they were on these cards so soldiers can remember who to assassinate. This is currently where my playing card collection is at. I might add maybe 2 or 3 more in the future, but I really don't need that many more. I feel pretty satisfied where I am right now with playing cards, because again, I don't really have many people over, so I don't really have an excuse to have a card game Casino Royales right now. In 25th place, we have the Epic Skull Clock. Another item that actually isn't too rare and can be kind of obtained pretty easily via eBay. This is a 2000s style clock where it lights up and the eyes start glowing and the head is the snooze button. So it is a really cool, wacky aesthetic of a alarm clock. And fun fact, it also has a jack in it. So if you can plug it into an audio source, you can wake up to some pretty crazy shit. I don't have it plugged in because I am one hell of a chicken shit, and I care about waking up a little more comfy in the morning. But that's just me being a little bitch about it, I guess you could say. In 24th place, we have the Kooky Phone Charger Accessory. Otherwise known as the Coco phone. This is basically an old school phone that you plug into an iPhone. So it's a kind of useless device. I think it's designed for older generations to adapt to the new phone, but like, I don't know, this thing is just so unbelievably goofy that I had to grab it. There was just no way I could not resist the moment I saw this. But if you're curious, it isn't that rare, although finding a specific color might be a little trickier. Next up is the JP poster. Now, when it comes to this one, I actually don't know how rare it is, but it is a alternate cover to the Jurassic Park poster. I got it in this frame you see here, and it's just a really nice, clean, and simple poster. So I just don't have enough cool kid posters. This is kind of the only like real cinematic one I have. I hope I can add 1 or 2 more to the collection one day, but for now, this one is more than enough, and you really don't need more than one movie poster in one's room to have a cool room, to say the least. Speaking of things hanging on the wall, in 22nd place, we have the neighborhood watch sign. For those of you who don't go outside or play games like League of Legends, Valorant, and you know the rest, basically certain neighborhoods will have these neighborhood watch signs to let motherfuckers know, hey, you're gonna get your butt smacked if you try to press any of us, because we the neighbors and we about to jump your ass, basically. But what's interesting about them is they always have this cool like FBI agent aesthetic to them, and this graphic is really cool. There's definitely a couple variations, and believe it or not, they're not too rare, although I don't know if they're actual ones taken off a street sign or something. But this one with the materials made with it, it's definitely one that's been probably used, if not stolen. I'm not entirely sure, but again, these aren't too rare or hard to obtain to my knowledge, but don't quote me on that. Now we ascend to the next tier, and in 21st place we have the Disney toy sword. Now this is where we start to get rather weird, wacky items, as there's very little known about this toy, believe it or not. There's an engraving stating it is from Disney, so that's all I really know right now. And unfortunately, this aesthetic that I see here is extremely vague. This could be from various IPs from Disney, so it's hard to tell where exactly to pinpoint it to. But the cool thing is it can spin like this. I mean, if you're seeing this on screen, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my goddamn fucking life, and I've seen a lot of cool shit, might I add. There's a little black button that acts as the mechanism for detaching the sword, allowing you to spin it. I've tried looking this up a couple times and I cannot find a single thing on it, so if you're able to find anything on it, let me know in the comments, because I'd be very interested. In 20th place we have the Poison Book. Now this is actually a lot more common than the toy sword, but is a interesting book to say the least. This is the 9th edition, which is one of the more common variations, but there are older versions that are more rare and expensive. But just the fact that you have a poison book, I think, is all that really matters. I don't think you really need a super crazy variant of it, so you're not getting too bougie about it, if I wasn't already. I haven't read the book myself, but it has some cool graphics, and I'm sure you can get some pretty freaky stuff coming out of this book. In 19th place, we have the Hard Rock Vegas clock. This is just a simple little clock that is vintage, and it has this Vegas 50s Fallout aesthetic to it, and it's just really cool overall. It doesn't even seem like a real item. It seems like some Etsy recreation, but no, this is in fact real. These actually aren't too rare either, but they're a little more on the expensive side when it comes to fun novelty items. So, but if you're able to grab one, definitely do, because it is a really cool addition to anyone's room. Next up in 18th place is the Carnival Collection. This is just relating to two items. The first is the coin gobbling clown, where you put a coin in and pull the lever, and homeboy will eat it with his eyes going up for some reason, so he's kind of getting freaky with eating your coin. I don't know what's going on here. Is there some subliminal messaging all the way back in the day? I do believe this is an antique from what I know online, but I don't know if they remade it. There's actually quite a bit of them for an antique, which can sometimes be common, but they can also be extremely rare. Like, that's kind of the weird thing with antique kind of figures. They're rarely are they kind of like just in the middle. They always seem to either be relatively common or a pain in the ass, but that's just from my experience. But the other item, and the honestly more interesting item, believe it or not, is the spinning ride toy. You can basically spin this bad guy and you can watch it spin really fast. Really not much to say about this one. This one's also a little rare from what I've seen, but it's a really funky piece and I just love it. It goes great with the clown, so that is why they are together in the Carnival Collection. And we're going to end off part 1 1 with the next tier, believe it or not. And we're going to be talking about one of the more mysterious items on this entire list, which is the two-headed T-Rex toy. Now, very, very little is known about this figure besides it's a T-Rex with two fucking heads that are clearly ripping off the Jurassic Park T-Rex head. The only information I can find on this toy was a Reddit post showing a dinosaur toy bag which featured the figure inside the bag, which was found at a 99-cent store. It's unknown if the Reddit user actually bought this or not, from what I can tell, and this is literally the only evidence I've ever seen of one for sale. Now, I actually grabbed this at a swap meet I go to all the time, and the seller had like 20 of these, so I thought they were relatively common at the time, but that might have been every single one in fucking existence. I don't know. It only costed me $5, and being such a wacky, unique item, I could not pass up on the opportunity to say I have a two-headed T-Rex. So, really dope item and a cool one we are unfortunately going to end on. So, this concludes part 1 of the freakiest items I have found out in the wild. Let me know what you think of this series, because if you guys like part 1 here, I will definitely make a part 2 with higher tier items and potentially a part 3 with some of the highest tier items I have found, at least in my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think about this type of content, because I can make quite a bit of content like this. Not that I would bang out all this stuff at once. I still plan on making my classic content, but I'm definitely interested to what you guys think about this funky little series I've been coming up with. That's about it. Take care, and I'll see you soon.